everybody. What up, guys? Thanks for joining the live stream. Oh, I've gone so far back you can see I'm wearing shorts. Look, I actually am wearing pants for this, all right? I'm wearing pants for you. We're starting the live stream off with a song every single week. I, of course, well, I don't do this every single week. I should do this every single week, but I don't. Every single live stream, I start off playing a song for everybody. And if you subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/OsarianAndrews, you can vote, okay, for what song I play. Winning the vote this stream was 67% of the respondents was, of course, Even Flow by Foo Fighters. Now, what was interesting about that is there is no song called Even Flow by the Foo Fighters. I meant Everlong, and I just wrote the wrong thing down. But I think people got it, okay? Yes, that is not a Foo Fighters song. You are correct. Even Flow is a Pearl Jam song, but I thought it because there's a music venue in the suburbs of Chicago called Even Flow, and for some reason that was in my head. But I don't know how to play Even Flow by Pearl Jam. It goes something like, even flow, rock around like butterflies. I don't think I ever have opened with a Pearl Jam song. I put in the Patreon, I'm like, sound off in the comments if you have a suggestion for you'd like me to hear. I could do Pearl Jam. Like, you know, I'm trying to do the intro to Jeremy. And it's like, at home, drawing pictures of mountaintops with him on top, lemon yellow sun. I don't know that fucking song. I'm not a Pearl Jam guy, okay? I'm not someone who was a fucking frat bro in 1998 and is now a hedge fund manager who gets wild on the weekend with a box at an arena to go see. Why am I shitting on Pearl Jam? They're a good band. I got no disrespect for Pearl Jam, but I only know the singles, man. I only know the singles, you know? What's it like? Hey, how's that song go? Hey, I'm still alive. Hey, I'm still alive. Yeah, 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 yeah. Guys, I'm doing a lot of talking and not a lot of singing, okay? In fact, the Foo Fighters song was suggested, I forget who it was, but someone on the Patreon said that their wife, and they're fucking lying, they're not married. Don't miss me with that. No one who watches this live stream has ever had sex or been married. I guess you can be married and not have sex. 1, 2, Prince is here before you, and that's what I say, Bell. Anyway, someone suggested a Foo Fighters song, and so I suggested Even Flow, which is not a Foo Fighters song, but it won. Hello, I've waited here for you ever long. Tonight, I throw myself into, and out of the red, out of her head she sang. Come down and waste away with me, down with me. Slow how you wanted it to be. I'm over my head, out of her head she sang. And I wonder, when I sing along with you, if everything could ever be this real forever, if everything could ever be this good again, the only thing I'll ever ask of you, you gotta promise not to stop when I say when she sang. Breathe out so I can breathe you in. hold you in. Everyone should be singing with me right now. You're the only one doing a right. Jug, hold you. I know you've always been out of your head, out of my head, she sang. And I wonder, when I sing along with you, if everything could ever be this real forever. If everything could ever be this good again. The only thing I'll ever ask of you, you gotta promise not to stop when I say when. She sang. And I wonder if everything could ever be this real forever. If everything could ever be this good again. The only thing I'll ever ask of you, you gotta promise not to stop when I say when. She sang. Thank you all so very much. Let's start the show. Let me turn off my little thing. Bring this all the way down. Don't want to drain all the battery on my little wireless. Thank you. You're correct to clap. I think I was pretty on key there. Sometimes I can be a bit pitchy when I'm singing. The trick to singing, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not a great singer, but I've sung in a number of like rock bands and shit. The trick, I should have played lit. The trick to singing, like for rock and roll when you can't sing, is knowing your limitations, okay? You don't want to go off on some Freddie Mercury bullshit. Just sing Ozzy, okay? Ozzy just sang whatever the hell Tony Iommi was playing, and, well, Geezer Butler, sometimes the bass player would be all over the place. But Tony Iommi, the guitar player, he would just sing whatever that guy was playing. Sounded perfect. Has he lost his mind? Can he see or is he blind? I have Ozzy on the brain. I did a charity show last night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here in Chicago, Illinois. It's funny is sometimes the emojis come through and sometimes I just get descriptions of them. Face turquoise speaker shape, face turquoise speaker shape, face turquoise speaker shape. I don't know. Literally cannot visualize what the hell that is. I had a cold last week, which I used to never get sick at all. And now I get sick like once a year as I get old and my body decides to kill me. But I'll kill it first. You know what I'm saying? That's what I got this whiskey here for. So I had a cold like last week and I was being very ableist against myself. Every day I'd wake up and just be like, you lazy piece of shit. You're only sick because you're too lazy to work. Stop it. But I'm still kind of recovering from the cold a little bit. And last night I did this charity show here in Chicago. It was out in the suburbs. Don't worry about it. It was a really fun show. And I sang a couple Ozzy songs. It was a tribute to Ozzy. And I said they're asking local musicians to do things. And they asked me very graciously to sing Iron Man and War Pigs. And it kind of rocked my fucking socks. I think I have a video of it. I'm going to pull it up and show it to you guys, okay? Oh, Lord, yeah. Here we go. It's right here. Click to expand. It's on Facebook, and I will be expanding the whole thing so you cannot see any of these other people involved. Thank you very much. All right. Let me jump ahead a little bit for this one. See where I start with my rocking out. There's the thing about it, I was watching the video and it's very funny because War Pigs starts with a lot of instrumental stuff and ends with a lot of instrumental stuff too. And Ozzy would just kind of stand there and like bang his head and rock with it. No, this is not the video I'm looking for. But I was like, what the hell do I do? So I just kind of stand there and was just like making little stupid faces and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun though. Here we go. Here's the video. You can hear it already. Let me expand. Okay. Make sure you can't see any identifying remarks of the person who sent it to me, because God forbid you harass these nice people. There's me going absolutely fucking wild. You can also see, because you guys always see me sitting down, I am literally 6'4". That's kind of not true. I'm like 6'3.75", but I round up. That being said, even though I'm a tall man, this channel supports our short kings, okay? Society is very cruel to you guys. Can you hear it making any noise? No, it doesn't seem to be. Did I turn off the sound? Oh, I did somehow. So this is what I'm saying. Like, what the hell do? You just kind of stand there like a big dork? How cool is this? I was about to say the name of the woman next to me, but I'm not going to say that. She seemed very comfy. She probably would let me say the name of her band. She's in a cover band in Chicago called Moonhole. Isn't this cool? I am a cool guy. We sang together. She's the singer of a band called Moonhole, which is a cover band in Chicago, and they're pretty cool. Yeah, she rocks, dude. She's great. But enough of her. On to me. I tried to give a lot of, like, show me your fucking hands. And the cool thing about it is, like, this is a charity show, and so there was no rehearsal. And I knew her, the person next to show us your Moonhole. One time, I saw someone ask her why her band was called Moonhole, and she goes, "It's too long of a story. I'll tell you after the show." And then I never heard the rest of the story. So I still don't know why the fuck they're called Moonhole. They're a fun band, though, dude. They're like a party rock cover band, so they're doing, like, you know, Crazy Train and, like, 80s shit. And it's, like, stupid, but it's fun as hell, dude. They're a lot of fun. Check out Moonhole on Facebook, and do not harass anybody. Anyway, so the point is, I didn't know who the hell these guys are. So this big ass bearded dude next to me, I was just like, you better be ready to shred, bro. And he fucking brought it. So we never rehearsed. Nobody in some of the people in the band had met each other at different times, but we had never played music together. What do I think of you? I think of you as the internet. And I think the internet would love nothing more than to find random people and show them some clip of me being like, I don't know, I guess Hitler was cool, or whatever dumb bullshit I fucking said out of context. Damn, look at this dude shredding. And the bass player, too, was holding it down. Yeah, look at those moves. You know, I could lose a little weight, but on the other hand, I am daddy, and you all need to accept that I, in fact, am daddy. Let me see your hands in the air. I am cooler than all of you. I want that record, I want that to be stated. All right, so I get the next verse. That is true. Nothing matters, nothing is real. So in fact, I am Ozzy Osbourne. Let the record state. By the way, I'm literally not talking. I'm literally just watching a video of myself and being like, damn, that guy's cool as hell. Playing fucking Ozzy cover songs in a goddamn dive bar. Well, I didn't say this is a dive bar. This is actually kind of a nice rock theater. But, you know, just in the suburbs fucking playing cover songs. I don't give a shit, dude. I am, oh God, I am daddy maxing. Let the record state. Power. In a second, we'll get there. Okay, who gives a shit? I don't sing the rest of the song. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Everyone fucking kill themselves. If you're playing on this song, as soon as I'm done singing, put a gun in your mouth. JK, don't. YouTube lawyers, don't get me. Thanks, man. I like the beard too. I am daddy. And like I said, I'm simply daddy maxing. Okay. I'm drinking straight fucking bourbon. I'm just, my shirt's unbuttoned. I'm sweaty as hell. This little office room I have in my apartment, I don't have air conditioning into it. And it's actually relatively pleasant here in Chicago. Now, it's like 70 degrees outside. See, I'm going to keep coughing. I'm still like, I don't have a cold. I don't feel like I have a cold. But looking it up, apparently if you have a cold for like a week or two after, it's possible that you have inflamed like lungs and airways and stuff that produce a lot of like phlegm. And I'm going to cough into the microphone. I could stop it. I could go like this. Frankly, that's why Polish people shouldn't be allowed to vote. See, I could mute myself, but I'm not going to. I'm going to cough directly into it. Now, I'm currently in Chicago, Illinois, and as I understand it, any day now, Donald Trump is going to send armed military forces, jackbooted thugs, to fuck me personally, I think. I hope you knock off your Faraday cage and are somehow negatively affected. I don't know how this stuff works. This is not a Faraday cage. This is a windsock, I think it's normally called. What does it sound like if I take it off? Let's hear it. So when I just talk into it, it sounds a little different, I guess. It's a little, what if I... God damn, don't do that. No one make that into a GIF. No one make that. Do I sound good? Is my sound quality okay? I never know. I think I'm sounding all right here. I'm getting a lot of notifications on Discord and such. Anyway, I thought Donald Trump was going to send in the National Guard to personally fuck my ass. No, a Faraday cage is so the internet can't get into it. I think magnetic fields can't get into it or something like that. If your car gets struck by lightning, I don't know, dude. I have all this equipment. Yes. You people gotta like and subscribe. Do it. Donald Trump was going to send the National Guard into Chicago, right? I thought that was going to happen on Tuesday. And then he, of course, died. And they brought him back via cloning. We're going to talk all about that because I'm fascinated by that. We got so much to talk about today. I got to talk about Donald Trump being dead. We have to talk about the chorus thing with Taylor Lorenz. To be honest with you, I don't really give a shit about that. But in this game, you got to have an angle. You got to have a side because it's all about drama. This is a drama channel. This is all drama farming. And I've decided I'm officially on the liberal. I'm with the liberals now. Okay? I'm with Destiny. Now, I've heard that he has child pornography or something. I don't fully follow any of that. He seems like a mess. I don't know why he keeps saying disgusting things on the internet. No, I'm just kidding. I'll take whatever side you people want me to take. I literally don't care. Time to get... Yeah, now is the time. We all support Destiny now. The thing about Destiny, which is fascinating, and maybe we'll talk about more of this when we get to the segment, but like, as someone who doesn't follow all the drama and stuff like that, I would just like watch his, like a debate of his or two, or watch some content here or there and be like, seems like a pretty smart guy. I don't agree with him on everything. Ultimately, I don't agree with him on Israel, but I, disagree. But I do agree that all the anti-Israel people are annoying, et cetera, et cetera. He seems reasonable. Then you follow the drama and you're like, oh, he just said he was going to murder a kid. And then also he has child porn, but it might just be edgy jokes or something. That is true. Ultimately, at the end of the day, which side has more women? And that's the side I'm going to be against. I was trying to explain to someone the other day. They were like asking about the manosphere and stuff. And I was explaining that Andrew Tate has claimed that enjoying having sex with women is gay, which fucking rules. And I do agree with. If you at any point enjoy having sex with women, you are gay as hell. All right. What you should be doing is doing it for power and dominance. Okay. I got some other stuff to talk about today. We'll get around to it. Make another man come. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit. Bring it even more over here. There we go. Get even more of me up in this motherfucker and all my shit in the background. Can you see my posters back there? I have a Doughboys poster. I have me see if I can do this, actually. I might be able to show you guys around the office here. I have like a camera. Yeah, okay. So wait just a second here. Let me check this out. I think in theory I should be able to do this. I'm also the age you're going to be next year today, so don't say it out loud or I will kill you. I don't like that you know how old I am, but congrats on your 17th birthday. Let me see how this works here. Let me see if this is going to work. Is this going to work? Yeah, there you go. So it doesn't, if I do it like, you can see various things around my office. Let me show you a little tour of this. Still on the other monitor is myself being cool as hell right there. Got my little light. I've only got one light on right now. There's my OBS studio. Nope, deal with it. Deal with the breaking the wall. Here's really what's going to fuck you guys up, all right? I'm about to show you 2 photos of myself that I have on the wall, okay? Look right over here. So the first one, this is me. I guess you can't really see too well when I didn't have a beard. This is me at the United Center. My stream key is not on this screen. No, that's saved in settings. I would never want to reveal that it's, of course, 69-420-911. Anyway, that's me on stage at the United Center for the U2 concert. I knew somebody who worked for like U2 corporate, and I got to do a little behind the like scenes tour of U2. And then this person later gave me this photo, which is wild. And look at that shit right there. Me looking very happy. One thing I found out doing a tour of the whole, fucking thing, is that people call the edge Ed, which I thought was unimaginably cute. This is me running the Chicago Marathon in 2008. Look at baby me right there. Look at my baby ass right there. In 2008, when I was 3 years old, as you can tell. Look at that. Look at my little baby ass. All right. This is a poster from a local artist who gives a shit. Some various things. That's not my name. Don't worry about my name. This is the little thing I have hung up. Isn't that cute? What if I just give you guys a nice view of the whole damn thing? I did run I'm talking into my phone as if that's going to make the noise. I did run a marathon. I have not ran a marathon since then, but I've done a lot of half marathons and things of that nature. Look at me. Oh, look at how beautiful I am. I've done a lot of half marathons. I just did a Tough Mudder a couple weekends ago. It was pretty good. Anyway, if I spin it around, what's going on? No. I can put filters on this thing. What does this do to me? Oh, I don't like that very much, man. I straight up do not enjoy this. That is terrible. Hi, guys. I guess you can't really see. They do have mud marathons, and I don't do them. Focus on... Okay. You can't really see this right here. Yep, I'm going to be anime for the rest of this. I'm going to straight up be anime. Let me move the camera, or let me move the picture to the side so you can actually see me. This is what I look like now. Straight up deal with it. Oh, it's me, Pixar. As Pixar dad. Ball. No, someone get me a beanie immediately. What's this do? Oh, black and white. This makes me arty. Invert. Well, I don't have a green. Oh, but it puts a green screen behind. That's stupid. What the hell is this? I don't get that. VHS. Okay. Is this fun for you guys? Because I'll be honest with you, I'm having a blast right now. This is almost as good as watching myself sing. Palestine. Like I fucking give a shit. Okay? Anyway, as I was showing you. Yeah, why the fuck not? Literally, who cares? I've got other various things. Literally, this is content. I'm just showing you guys my little office. I was in a band called Titty City for a while, so I have a few little posters up there for Titty City, which is fun. I have my Bernie Sanders poster up there for when I briefly worked for the Bernie Sanders campaign, as well as a Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras from Vanderpump Rules. There's my Blu-rays that I have in my office right here, as well as some books and shit like that. That's the guitar I play, which I hang right there. I have various plugs. Oh, no, this is really embarrassing. Okay, so, listen. Do I have some Funko Pops? Yes. I'm not like a Funko Pop guy. I always feel like I have to explain this. I have a goddamn nephew who's like, oh, Uncle Coco, he calls me Coco, is a big dork. I did show you this stuff on Patreon right when I first started it, but most people aren't on the Patreon, and those that are don't actually watch, so who knows? So he buys me these various Funko Pops, And I want to be like, me having a Funko Pop must be like, if someone comes over to a black guy's apartment and he's got a naked fat white woman and like a box of fried chicken, and it's just like, listen, come on, don't judge me here, okay? Yeah, I've been to prison, but it's not, this is Black Panther. Because my nephew, who is a white child, I do have another nephew who is half Asian, as a matter of fact. The good half. But my nephew really enjoy like the dude in The Shining's apartment. Oh, fuck yeah. That's my favorite part in the movie The Shining, where Halloran, the black guy, Scatman Crothers, the Scatman himself, it just cuts to his apartment and he's like in fucking Florida or something with like just a passed out white bitch on his bed watching the news. And I'm like, why don't I get a whole movie about this guy? Why do I got to follow Jack Nicholson holding an axe? Give me this. Anyway, there we go. It's better angle. But my little white nephew really likes Black Panther, and he would okay, so I didn't tell him he couldn't be Black Panther. I expressed to his mother that he probably shouldn't be, and she was like, why? He just likes Black Panther. I never brought it up with him, but I was like, couldn't you, I have read the book The Shining many years ago. I have a number of Stephen King books. See my book, in fact, actually I have it. Oh, Ryan, let me flip this right here. I have It right there, and Dune, and Oppenheimer, and Hitler, and Cloud Atlas, and Watchmen, and various comic books and shit. Game of Thrones books down there. This is my little music collection right here, and I have various different microphones, guitars, and stuff like that. It is so huge, LOL. Yeah, I got this tiny-ass little office, dude. This place was sold as like a 3-bedroom, and I'm like, I was about to be like, oh, I couldn't sleep in this room, and I'm like, bitch, you lived on an air mattress that was slowly deflating, okay? For a solid year of your life. I'm talking to myself on this one. Anyway, I have the posters here for a Jack White concert I went to. A Green Day concert at the Metro in Chicago. This is a couple years back. And I saw Green Day. It was very much a metaphor for my life, as a matter of fact. To just start every night, go to sleep being like, all right, the next day is going to be the day that I get my life together. And I'd wake up just on the ground. My back hurt. It's a great time for me. You saw Green Day once? Because I saw Green Day, not to fucking humble brag over here. Okay, I don't know where my sight line should be. All right, I'm going back to the better camera. All right, just a second. Should this turn on in just a second? Hopefully. There we go. Me right here. Already received. You're very, very welcome for sharing. I could have taken you through each book individually on my own. I'm literally just checking my emails now. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I saw Green Day a couple years ago at a Lollapalooza after show that I just got like lucky and managed to get tickets to. And it was at the Metro, like less than 1,000 people. It ruled. Probably the best concert. I love Green Day. I am the least famous. That is true. Well, what I need to do if I want to be a famous comedian is come out and go, yo, so like trans people, dude, fuck is the deal? I was unaware of the whole stand-up scene in Austin with like Brendan Schaub. There's a whole subgenre of YouTube which is just exploring stand-up comedian drama. It is wild. And these people are fucking terrible. Like, I'd never seen Brendan Schaub do stand-up comedy before. Then I was like, God damn. Jesus. So many great comedians I've seen in my life just, quit because they got tired of being paid in drink tickets. Like, I've been trying to put a down payment on my house using these 3 drink tickets for domestic beer. Okay? Well, whiskey is going to be $2 more. That's how it is. I do. Now, was the joke explainer in the stream last time? Or somebody like from his team was there or something? Oh, you saw Stone Temple Pilots with the original singer. I saw them one time too, and then I just said, you don't have the balls to do more heroin tonight. You don't have the balls. The joke explainer. His handler, editor, co-writer. I talked shit about the joke explainer last time. He has a fucking... Okay, we're going to talk about it because, again, this is a drama channel. I want to establish that. This is about drama, starting fights with other people. So I'm starting a beef with the joke explainer just because he has more views than me. That's it. All right? I'm going to cough again. Excuse me. As I was saying, so the joke explainer, first off, he fought my ass. He hold me down, he fought my ass. No, here's... I feel bad because there's a chance he might actually watch this now. He's got one joke, okay? He watches the thing, and then he just incredulously repeats the stupid video the joke afterwards. Like, oh, so in this, he fuck on my ass? He robbed me? He fuck on my ass? Is that racist? Is that voice racist? He's actually Walter Masterson's son? So is he brothers with Danny Masterson? That would make sense. I'll believe any rumor. I will believe literally anything told to me. I don't care. You'd be like, oh, do you want to verify that fact? Oh, guess what? 2014 called. It wants its reality back. Now facts don't matter. If enough people say it on the internet, it's true. Literally, who gives a shit anymore? Anyway, that joke explainer guy, he's just got one bit. He just watches like some shitty comedian and then afterwards just incredulously repeats the thing and keeps going. Okay? Now I feel bad shitting on somebody. Oh, I don't got the balls to do drama. I don't got the fucking balls to do drama. Maybe I would be wrong. I have not watched a lot of his stuff, to be fair. I am the left's Joe Rogan, as a matter of fact. That's a great point. We're going to talk all about this. Here's the fundamental problem with being the left's Joe Rogan is the left isn't as retarded. We can say retarded again, right? Trump won. We got that back. We got that. Here's the thing. A lot of people went to the right, especially in the stand-up comedy world. A lot of people said, I'm going to vote for Trump because otherwise I won't be able to say retarded. But here's a little secret they didn't know. You could always say it. You can say whatever you want. Retarded. Said it right now. I like it. I want to because... You want to what? Be the Joe Rogan? Oh, you don't want people to say retarded. Yeah, well, I probably shouldn't say it. It's not a nice thing to say. But my larger point here is that everyone who wanted to go to the right wanted to support fascism because they were not able to say that word. You were always able to. And guess what? It would get uptight people really mad, and that's funny as hell. That is so funny. Oh, how dare you say that word? How dare you say that? You're offending the actual retarded. And I'm like, nah, they seem to be having a good time. They're always smiling, those guys. God damn. How do I get retarded? Which specific order of vaccines do I need to do to give myself Down syndrome? No, but here's the whole thing. You say, I think if it's used in the context of a swear word, it's okay, I guess. The question with all of these things is not, is it okay? Is it not okay? How does it make you feel? And do you want to express that? Because here's the thing. I'm allowed to say it. I can say retarded. If someone goes, I don't like that because of XYZ, that's completely valid. I can't argue with them. Okay? So the question might be like, should I say it? That is a very different question. There's a lot of things I shouldn't say. But you know what? Kind of have adult oppositional defiance disorder. When I'm told I can't say something, sure would like to say it. That's a lot of fun for me. But the point is, we've had a lot in the past, 10 years or so of people trying to let me speak to the manager of people's opinions. You can't. If people do not like that you fucking go on stage and make jokes about trans people or whatever dumb bullshit you say, not even jokes. If you want to go out there and go I don't believe trans people are real. I think trans people just have a mental illness. You're allowed to say that. Okay? Other people will be made upset by it. You cannot talk to the manager of people's opinions and be like, actually, you shouldn't be upset by the thing I just said. Fucking live with it or don't. Be a fucking man and accept that if you say shit that pisses people off, it's gonna piss people off. If you don't want to piss people off, don't say shit that pisses people off. But you can say it. You can piss people off all fucking day, all the time. You can do that if that's your prerogative, but don't do it and then fucking cry about it. Except that pissing people off is the whole point. This is what separates the actual edgelords from the fucking fakers. You just want to come in and pretend to be edgelords, okay? The true edgelord, the punchline, is the person yelling at you upset about it. Okay? That's the actual punchline. Oh, I said I always cough in the microphone. Guys, Donald Trump definitely 100% had a stroke last week, right? Can we all agree on that? If you guys don't know, if you're not up to date on this information, and I should have covered this last week, but I didn't stream due to being very, very busy shortening my penis. It was in fact too big, so I've got to shorten it. Here's the thing. I'll address the syphilis thing. There's a lot of talk about Donald Trump's health. Last week, for the entire week, he canceled a number of press conferences. He didn't do any interviews. He was photographed by the media from like several feet away. He did not go up and approach the media. And here's the thing about Donald Trump. That is the only thing he enjoys. He hates being alive. He hates his own skin. He hates humans. He hates reality. He is not made for this world. He fundamentally is made for a world where there is no physical contact of any kind. He, in fact, is not a man, but a sort of ethereal light creature. Brr. What's a maca? Is that a kind of bird? I don't know. Anyway, Donald Trump, everyone started asking questions when he wasn't talking to the press. Okay? You couple that with the fact that he's recently had, macas. He does apparently love McDonald's. I'll talk about it in a second, but I can't imagine he's ever had sex or like eaten human food. You know? Mac ass. Come over here and you eat a kangaroo's asshole. Australia. Brr. Anyway, Donald Trump has been observed with very swollen ankles, which is a sign of heart problems. He's been observed with a bunch of dog shit concealer on his hand, which obviously is the result of like needles being put in there and stuff like that. And then also, and this is probably the most damning thing, he is a morbidly obese, retarded 80-year-old. Even if there was no other evidence, you can presume that a morbidly obese, retarded 80-year-old is going to have health problems as a default, okay? So there started to be all these questions like, is Donald Trump dead? Also, J.D. Vance, who is the current vice president of the United States of America, of Illinois, I almost said, United States of America, he gave a great interview where he goes, listen, of course, Donald Trump's not dead. Can you imagine such a thing? But if he were dead, I am ready. Let me just throw that out there. I have gotten great training and I'm ready to do it. Now, there's a lot of different theories. Did he have a stroke? I think it's probably a stroke. That seems most likely based on everything I've seen. Down there, Lamp said he's got syphilis. And again, I'm not 100% convinced Donald Trump has ever had sex. Because we know he's a weird germaphobe and he hates touching people. I legitimately would not be surprised if because there's this story, okay? And this made me think of Donald Trump. Jamie Lynn Sigler, later Jamie Lynn Spears is Britney Spears' sister. Two different people. One of them should change their last name. Jamie Lynn Sigler, who played Meadow Soprano on The Sopranos, she told a story on a podcast one time. She had just recently broken up with a guy, and a friend of a friend, it's fucking Hollywood bullshit, said, oh, do you want to get on Harvey Weinstein's private plane? We're going to the Cannes Film Festival. She goes, fun. Sounds good. She gets on there. Harvey Weinstein has a bedroom on his plane. She takes an Ambien. She passes out in the bedroom on the private plane. She wakes up an hour or two later, and Harvey Weinstein is just at the foot of the bed. He's fully clothed. He's not doing anything. And she wakes up and she's like, what the fuck is going on? And he goes, all right, here's the deal. Okay. You have to tell everybody I forced you down and ate your pussy. Don't tell everyone I did that. Okay. Because that's going to make me seem cool, you know? Because allegedly Harvey Weinstein didn't have a dick. He probably lost his dick at some point. Because if you follow the trial, and I follow all penis-based legal proceedings, at the beginning, the people he raped early in his raping career, when he was just a rookie. Do you have his rape rookie card, by the way? The Topps one? It's going to get a lot of money on Antique Roadshow. I'm really helping the algorithm, by the way, with this particular story. Early on in his kind of career, the victims were like, hey, he had a weird dick. Then later, everyone was like, he didn't have a dick. Like, there's a famous story, which is amazing, a famous drawing from the court. A courtroom stenographer drew how someone described him. And then, and they were like, yeah, he just didn't have a penis. He was just flat like a Ken doll down there. And what was funny is this all happened at like the height of peak woke. So like 2018, whatever it was. And I remember there were a number of news stories that literally were like, is Harvey Weinstein in fact, transitioning? In fact, is Harvey Weinstein? Now, Lamp is saying he probably had something obscured. The theory I've heard that I like better is he went to Brazil for an experimental dick fattening surgery that went terribly wrong. He was trying to inject, I don't fucking know, caulk into his penis, and somehow he ended up with no penis. And in a lot of ways, young men watching this, do not be Icarus. Do not be penis Icarus. Do not fly too close to the penis sun, okay? Except you're sturdy, rock hard 5.5 inches, all right? Because here's a little secret the ladies don't want to tell you, okay? Those guys with the big ass fucking dicks, those are just big floppers, okay? Can't do shit, okay? They can do fun tricks. You can do helicopters with them, but in terms of actual fucking, you might as well try to put some cooked pasta up in that fucking pussy. I just checked. I got booked for the Comedy Mothership in Austin for next weekend with my stand-up material. I think the rumor is that Elon has a mechanical penis of some nature. I saw some leaked text messages, allegedly, between Azealia Banks and, what's that Canadian synth pop? Grimes. Where Grimes was like, Elon Musk has like a big-ass fucking dick. That's what she said, but she's also, and Azealia Banks is like, nah, girl, you tiny. Here's the thing. Elon Musk I would love nothing more to go on Kill Tony. I have an ex-girlfriend who was on Kill Tony. This was like years upon years ago, back when it was just an LA thing, I think, at the Comedy Store. But she'd use it as a credit. She was like a comic, and when she tried to get booked, she was like featured on Kill Tony, and it was like, bitch, you did a minute and bombed, and everyone heckled you. She was also cheating on me. So it's okay if she's cyberbullied. Her name is, of course, everybody knows, Barbara Streisand. Check it out. What was I talking about? Yes. Here's the thing. Elon Musk could possibly have a giant dick. But if so, why is he so racist? Wouldn't that be amazing? You try to blow Elon Musk and he just whips out like a fucking 9-incher and you're like, what? Why do you hate black people so much? What's the problem? Anyway, Donald Trump, the current president of the United States of America, has, by all accounts, an unimpressive penis. Did Grimes tell that to Azealia Banks? You also can't trust anything Azealia Banks ever says because she is, and listen, a lot of respect for our chaotic queen. She should be institutionalized. Okay? You shouldn't be going on TrueAnon and also like allegedly have a career. I'm told that she makes music of some nature. I've never heard it, and I won't be looking it up. Anyway, speaking of Donald Trump's penis, I believe it was Stormy Daniels, I forgot her name, who said he had kind of an unimpressive penis. She didn't say it was like nothing, but she said, it was kind of tall. Does Azealia Banks have good music? I think Azealia Banks is fucking crazy. I think she's fun. I like her. I like people who are just real. So many celebrities are so fucking boring. Okay. Oh, Grimes. Yeah. I'm unfamiliar with Grimes's work. I know that it was funny when she on Twitter, whatever, Elon Musk was like responding to some tweet that was like 1488 Heil Hitler, fucking kill them all, gas them, white power. And he just goes, oh, interesting, looking into this or whatever. And then she just responded, why are you not answering my text messages about our child? Which is very funny. The Pete Davidson joke is very, very good because he talked about Ariana Grande saying he had a giant dick. And then he just goes, nah, she just got small hands. So he denied it, which further cemented that he's packing a fucking hog in there. Listen, some people packing a hog. Some people are packing a boss hog. But we're trying to talk about politics, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for politics, okay? Donald Trump, I don't think it was syphilis. I think it was a stroke. Okay? used that meme so many times. Oh, is the meme the one where like she's at the lollipop and he's got like his hat down or whatever it is and they're like walking? Yeah. Here's the thing. I think Pete Davidson probably has a big dick, but women have no fucking idea what a big dick is. They got no fucking idea. They see like a nice dick. Only men truly know what a big dick is. That's 100% true. Girl inches are fucking real. Girls will be like, it was the fucking biggest dick in the world. It was 27 inches of girth or some fucking nonsense. And it's just a dude with a nice dick. And you see that with celebrities all the time. Okay? Excuse me. Someone like Justin Theroux, this is one I'll remember. He like did The Leftovers and you could see a dick print through his like sweat shorts or whatever it is. And everyone's like, his dick is fucking huge. And I'm like, it reminds me a little bit of one time when I went to go see the Chicago Fire play soccer at Soldier Field. And I looked at them and I said, listen, all of these people are better at soccer than I am, but are they so good that that's their career? Are they that much better than me? No one scored a fucking point. It was them against New York the whole goddamn time. And that's how I feel about penises. Listen, Donald Trump came back on Monday with a little bit of a press conference, and I thought maybe we could watch some of that. Who cares about your... First off, as we've established, no one watching this program has ever had sex, so don't worry about that. Reveal details about your sex life, okay? Who cares?
Every one of them.
Oh, there we go. I'm going to reveal details about my sex life. For example, last night I fucked to this. Oh, it to me. All right. So this is a press conference he did on Monday where they quickly announced an emergency press conference happening in a couple hours. And everyone's like, oh, they're going to say he's fucking dead. He's obviously fucking dead. JD Vance is going to take over. And a lot of people wonder, would JD Vance be better or for worse? I don't know. On one hand, JD Vance is not retarded. He's a relatively smart guy. I think he's a relatively competent guy. He's just truly foundationally evil. But the negative to JD Vance, in terms of how the Republicans see it, the negative would be that he's completely devoid of charisma and no one likes him. He just has no fucking swag. If and when Donald Trump dies, we're going to see a real test of the Republican propaganda machine. Because they've tried to create other Trumps. Ron DeSantis primarily, okay? That guy is so goddamn dickless. JD Vance looks at him and is like, Jesus, get some swag. DeSantis had nothing. But he was smart and he was actually committed to fascism. He wanted to bring it about. So the people with the money, they love him. But they are goblins. They are not fucking humans. Humans, and I disagree with them on this. I do not like it, but I cannot deny that it is human. Humans love Donald Trump. Obviously not all. A lot of humans hate Donald Trump. But the man has legitimate charisma. All right? I don't like it. I don't like the guy. I really don't like the guy. I don't like the fucking leftist bullshit. I'm actually a communist. I'm in the vanguard. They grow a pube. Shut the fuck up. Democrats aren't just as fucking bad. Republicans are way, way, way fucking worse. Not to say there aren't legitimate criticisms of the Democrats. Don't get me wrong. There's fucking plenty of them. But they're not the goddamn Republicans. Okay? They're the fucking worst. But previous attempts to create a Trump in a lab by these right-wing money ghouls have failed. They've crashed and failed. With Trump dead, they will try. Will they try it with JD Vance? I don't know. None of these people aside from Trump can do it. Part of it is that he was already famous. That's something people often discount talking about Donald Trump. He was famous for being on a television show for many, many years where every episode they were like, this guy's great at business. Now, of course, famously, while they were filming The Apprentice, the producers showed up to actual Trump Tower and was like, this place looks like fucking dog shit. They shot most of The Apprentice on sound stages, pretending it was Trump Tower. And if that is not a metaphor for this guy's entire fucking enterprise, I agree. Libs really be frothing in the mouth for imaginally leftists that only exist on the internet. It was probably moldy. Yeah, you're probably right. I do agree that maybe we'll talk about this if we get to the chorus thing, but it's like two things can be true at once. One thing is that a lot of these stupid, annoying people on the internet are dumb. It's also true that they're completely fucking inconsequential. Like, everyone's mad. Like, Hassan Piker is probably the biggest name amongst all these people. And, like, The View probably is more crucial to an actual election than he is, you know? So I do get mad. And also, it's worth noting, I do agree with these people on a lot of things, especially domestic policy. I tend to be on their side, domestic policy. Foreign policy, it's not even that I disagree with them as much as I think they don't know what the fuck they're talking about a lot of the time. They come to a lot of the right conclusions, but whatever. Anyway, here's Donald Trump at a press conference, and they surrounded him with other people. Pete Hegseth, a psychopath, looks very mad right here.
Every one of them, I rate a 10. I can't always say that, even if they're Republicans, and these are Republicans, great Republicans. I want to thank you all for being here for this important announcement, 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time, and I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale, a place called Huntsville.
He is very funny. He just always has the ability to say a word you never would have guessed he would have said next. It's the amazing locale, because he just, like, you know, whatever, recently heard someone say that word and said, sounds French, very classy, I enjoy it. Now, here's the thing. This press conference was ostensibly to say that they're moving Space Force. No one remembers Space Force. No one gives a shit. This is not about that fucking at all. At all. They just did this because everyone was saying Donald Trump was dead, and they desperately needed him to come on television and talk. So they give him a short script. They give him a bunch of people to kind of have his back. And you know what? The man's a pro. The man can read a script.
Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama.
How do you like being these two guys? I don't even know who the hell these guys are right here. I don't want to know. These people have... I was about to say something that, if it didn't get my YouTube removed, should have. It'd be the only time I'd be like, I agree with censorship 100%. You're in Rockets. That's what I'm going to sell. That's what I'm going to say every time I have an erection. Book one ticket to Rocket City, bitch.
Alabama, we love Alabama.
Donald Trump has absolutely never been to Alabama. He's maybe done a press conference or anything there. He couldn't tell you one thing about Alabama. He would hate Alabama if he understood it conceptually, which he absolutely does not.
I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right? But,
yeah, no, I got it. Thank you, Lamb. Yes, Donald Trump, just openly corrupt. It's very funny. The level is who will be like, yeah, we're going to give them things because they voted for me. And everyone who doesn't, we're going to send troops to personally fuck a live streamer's ass.
We had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it. Huntsville in particular. So congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations.
Yeah, so who gives a shit? This doesn't matter. They don't care. They're probably not even going to actually do it. Pete Hegseth is right now imagining personally murdering every woman. His own mother. That's what he's imagining in his head. Remember when... Because the thing is, everyone Donald Trump appoints is profoundly evil. Because the only thing he cares about is loyalty to him personally. And you have to be both kind of stupid and fucking psychotically evil. Because plenty of stupid people are very nice. Plenty of very stupid people are very pleasant. It's not enough to just be stupid. To be a Donald Trump supporter, you have to be stupid and you have to be in your soul fucking evil. You have to have hate. You have to wake up every day and go, fuck the world! I want to make everyone feel like I feel because my fucking grandchildren didn't heart react my racist Tweety Bird meme. Fuck you. And Pete Hegseth has that without grandchildren. But of course, he likes to drink a lot and beat the shit out of his wives. And so I don't know who leaked it. That's the other thing, though. I would talk about this, but I'm on too many goddamn different fucking roads over here. I'm too many off-ramps. But I'll just say this. The Trump White House is the leakiest fucking thing in the world. The only thing that makes me think Donald Trump didn't have a stroke is there haven't been 7 million leaks. Every single person, as soon as this meeting was over, went and texted someone at the fucking Atlantic or whatever. They're all leaky as hell. But someone leaked to some publication a letter Pete Hegseth's mom wrote him where she said, hey, you are a bad person. You have an alcohol problem and you beat the shit out of women. His mother told him to get away from women forever. It doesn't matter because the Republican base, I think the vast majority don't care. They either are pro beating women or are women who are like, I probably deserve to get beat. And if you support Trump, listen, I'm not saying that if you support Trump, you deserve to get beat. But if I only have time to save one person from a beating, and I know for a fact one of them voted for Trump and one of them fucking didn't. I think it was after the election. I think it was when Pete Hegseth was getting confirmed. Although I could have the timeline wrong because I don't particularly give a shit. Let's watch more.
This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs and probably much more than that. And hundreds.
By the way, an Alabama job is what you call it when you pour Wendy's chili in an asshole. That's an Alabama job.
Of millions of dollars of investment, and that's billions because it can't be millions, it's billions and billions of dollars. Most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it. I want to thank Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Listen how he's rushing through this, okay? Normally he would stop and say, the next frontier, they say, let me tell you something right there. The frontier, it's a thing from Star Trek, and I'm loving it. Yes, it was after the election. She immediately retracted and was like, I actually didn't mean that. I actually have a dark half. You ever read that book by Stephen King? That's me. Anyway, Donald Trump is rushing through this. He's not doing his weave. He has a few little remarks here, but he's really sticking to the script, which is very unlike him.
He's doing a fantastic job. And Secretary of the Air Force, Troy Mink. Troy, thank you very much. Great job you're doing, Troy. This is such a big deal.
And see, look right there. He just said Troy Mink didn't offer some weird nonsense about him. It's like, Troy Mink, let me tell you something about Troy Mink. People don't know. Loves papaya. This guy, big papaya. Well, you mentioned the Adderall. It's worth noting that the press conference was originally scheduled for like 1 p.m. maybe. I forget. But they moved it an hour. Okay. And maybe I'm just conspiracy brained here. Again, we're past the point of caring about evidence or like backing up anything we say. It does not fucking matter. Who gives a shit? So I think it's definitely 100% true, proven to be true, that whatever adrenochrome or like just the goddamn aborted fetuses they just whip up in a blender and feed to Trump in a smoothie kind of fashion, whatever it was they needed to give him to get him going. And presumably it was the same shit they gave Joe Biden every single day up until the one debate where they were like, we're out. We're fucking out. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh fuck. They gave him that, and now he's able to at least stand up.
This is one that everybody wanted to know. What are you doing? I also want to thank Senators.
His eyes seem legitimately closed here. I would not be surprised if Donald Trump can just read that script in his sleep. The only thing he's ever actually been good at is being on television. But unfortunately, in America, that's the only thing that matters in terms of being in charge of things, which he actually probably isn't. So there you go.
Katie Britt, and I want to give my condolences. Your grandmother, her grandmother just passed away. She was 100, right?
100, and she loves you.
That's true. Dude, Joe Biden, the heights of his being fucking chromed up. He was living forever, shiny and chrome. Was that State of the Union? And remember that one speech he gave with the red lights behind him when he was like, damn MAGA Republicans. Damn MAGA Republicans. I don't even like them. Jack?
He was very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very proud of you. So thank you, Katie.
Wonderful woman.
Wonderful woman.
To produce you indirectly.
He also has been talking about death a lot. That's another thing to point out as context for this. He's been mentioning death a lot, and he keeps being very worried about going to heaven.
Tommy Tuberville, who's a great coach, and I won't say anything about what happened with Alabama football this weekend.
Let's leave that out.
But you're not...
Donald Trump has absolutely never watched a football game. What would be amazing, and some journalist needs to do this, sit Donald Trump down and go, all right, here's the only thing I want to know. What are the rules of football? How is football played? Make him answer it. The problem is that he'd be so bad at it, he'd immediately win the gay vote next time.
You're not used to that, right? You're not used to that. But Tommy, Auburn won, is right. They did. So you're happy. Tommy's been a great senator, as you know, and fantastic fantastic guy all around. He was also a tremendous coach. House Armed Services Committee Chair Mike Rogers. Thank you, Mike. Hey, Mike, thank you very much. Doing great, Mike. Representatives Barry Moore, all great friends. Robert Adderholt, Gary Palmer.
He's kind of getting the groove a little bit here.
Thank you all very much, fellas. Appreciate it. In my first term,
It's exact. We have a lot of players, and the players are often out there, and in fact playing the game. So a lot of people are talking at the ball and the foot, and so there is sometimes a foot. One of the best clips of all time. Look this up. It is one of the funniest things. Is when some reporter, back when Trump was first running in 2016, when they would actually ask him hard questions, relatively, and someone said, "What's your favorite book in the Bible?" And he goes, "Yeah, I could never name it." He's like, "I love them all. You know, I couldn't even pick just one." He goes, "Are you more of an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?" And he goes, "You know, I like them both equally. I think they're both great." Donald Trump is maybe the least religious person alive. You're like fucking edgy 13-year-old atheist nephew. Can't even dream of approaching the level of godlessness Donald Trump has in his life. He does not. He breaks all. The crazy thing about Donald Trump is he commits all 7 deadly sins. He commits lust every 15 minutes, and he doesn't get horny. He's never been horny in his life. The concept of sex disgusts him. He could never even imagine touching another human being or removing any of his clothes. He would never do it. Yet he still commits lust. He rapes people just for sport. It's like fishing, and you just throw the fish back, you know?
we created and I created a thing called Space Force. So important. You know, we were losing the race in space very bad.
Remember Space Force? Now, to be fair, after he created it, we do now own space. We have conquered it, so that's good.
To China and to Russia, and now we're far and away #1 in space, and reestablish Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland.
The crazy thing is that he can read. It's weird. I wouldn't have necessarily guessed that. He's never read a book. He's read a lot of tweets.
We initially selected Huntsville for the Spacecom headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration.
Have you ever seen Donald Trump as on script as this? I've never seen it before. He's not riffing at all.
And as you know, they moved him to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this.
All right, enough. And he goes on and on. And at what point does he get off there? All right, so 4:30, he's still talking. 5, he's still talking. So yeah,
congratulate. These are really
he does like 5 minutes.
They're politicians in many ways, but they're great patriots. I think even more so than politicians.
Absolutely.
So they fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville.
He saved it for the Q&A. When I was watching, I was like, he's going down. This is it. But he's got one of those dementia boosts. That's the thing about Donald Trump, and this really helped him in the last election, unfortunately. Joe Biden had the kind of dementia that just makes you vaguely irritated all the time. Just like, what the fuck is going on? I thought we got rid of all the goddamn malarkey, Jack. But now there's a lot of malarkey around here. Whereas Donald Trump has the kind where he just has to be a showman. Donald Trump was born to be a razzle-dazzle man, you know, just let me deal out some cards.
Pete, say a few words, please.
Okay, look at that.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And then again, this is just conspiracy brained. It's stupid. It's probably not true. I'm embracing it. I'm getting conspiracy pilled. Every single conspiracy is true, even the ones that directly contradict the other ones. Okay. Trying to think through the direct. For example, 9/11 never happened, and also the Jews did 9/11, which didn't happen, so no one did it except the Jews did it. It only makes sense.
As usual, right place, right time, for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to that domain.
But anyways, I was saying, my conspiracy brain, I honestly feel like Donald Trump walking over, that was the walk of an injured man.
Congratulate. These are really special people.
Yeah, you're patriots or whatever. Who gives a shit?
We had to be.
Let's try it.
They fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville. Pete, say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place.
I don't know. But his ankles are all swollen. He can't walk. And I've never seen Donald Trump have this much support behind him. He normally is a one-man band. And in fact, he hates everyone who tries to take the microphone from him. Here, he talked 5 minutes and gave it to Pete Hegseth. I think we're talking a stroke, baby. I think he has a lot of health problems going on. He had a stroke, and I think he's going to die. And I think J.D. Vance will serve out the rest of his term. I don't think Trump is making it the rest of his term. I don't know if he is. I could be wrong. I would also believe Donald Trump will live forever and, in fact, will never die. That also seems true to me in some kind of way. But my guess, if I had to put money down on it, we will see President J.D. Vance as the 48th, I think it is, president of the United States of America. And he will be the first ever president who's younger than me by a couple of months. I don't like it.
Right time for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when
He did do that.
We had to be looking to that domain of space. You also reestablished SpaceCom to ensure that priority was put in place, and you, through the Air Force,
Donald Trump made a funny face.
That Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it. For other reasons, in the next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well, during that time, the DOD...
The crazy thing about this is even like the normal MAGA, like insane accounts like Cat Turd, who just lives to fucking say like, I love you, Trump. Let me drink your piss and eat your shit. I fucking love you. Even they are not talking about Space Force. They don't fucking give a shit. This was such a silly excuse for a meeting. No one cares about fucking Space Force. All right, enough about Pete Hegseth, who gives a shit. Oh, who's this little bitch? All right, let me see. Let me see if we would fuck this tiny woman in the red coat.
For ensuring that happens. Thank you.
Because here's the thing. You should not objectify women. You should not say terrible things of women unless they're Republican. Then there are no rules.
Thank you very much. Katie, would you like to say something?
Yeah, that was the
Mr.
only
President,
thing.
We are grateful for your leadership on this. And
Oh, this is Katie Britt. She's that psycho woman who did the response to Joe Biden's State of the Union. Remember back then when everyone was like, damn, maybe Joe Biden's going to make this happen? Because he gave a State of the Union. It was fucking fine. He was just like, we got rid of all the malarkey, Jack, and everything's going to be fine. And let me tell you, I'm never going to press the button that makes inflation go up. I'm never going to do it. That'd be a terrible button. And then she was in the kitchen being like, Joe Biden, our children are starving. Reminds me of this. There's, it's like a billboard, but some stupid like building off the highway in Chicago has a sign on it that says Trump for president 2024. And underneath it just goes, I miss $1.79 gas and mean tweets. And I pass by that and I go, well, you're not getting the mean tweets because he doesn't post on Twitter. It's Truth Social. Okay. You should have said, I miss the mean Truth Socials. They're not even mean anymore. He's really lost his fastball. Secondly, gas was $1.79 in some parts of the country because there was a pandemic that killed millions. Gasoline is not cheaper now, significantly. I just want to talk to the guy who put that sign up. And I was like, don't you understand? The first rule of being a Trump supporter is you can never concretely put down any position because you will need to reverse on it. All right. I'm getting all these notifications that I got emails. Let me check my email.
restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh,
This delegation
shit.
has
My
worked
shipment is on the
together,
way.
both chambers, both parties, to make sure
gonna
that
manage the
Huntsville
delivery.
was the place that Space Command called.
Who cares, bitch? You suck. You know what my package is? A new acoustic guitar that I'm going to play on the next live stream that we got here. But I got to manage delivery so I can pick it up at a Walgreens, okay? I don't care about this woman when she's hyperventilating. It's funny. But look at this. They have everyone come up and just do like 2 minutes or something like that. Real short. Like they threw it together last minute. Oh, this absolute goblin. I don't know who this guy is and I don't like it.
Help in our military. We need to catch up. And as Secretary has said, we're not behind in space, but we know where we're at, and we need to expound on that. Now,
Absolutely.
this move will save the taxpayers $480 million. It's not going to cost more.
It's like a circle jerk where literally not one person got hard.
Going to cut $480 million. We have the plans intact. It'll be behind a secure wall in Huntsville, Alabama, at Redstone Arsenal. We have 40,000 people.
I think this
there.
guy's like a
FBI
governor of
there.
Alabama
We
or
have
some
missile
shit.
defense there. We have
All right, so we have a series of other unpleasant-looking men. Let's look at J.D.
It is
Vance.
the perfect place for.
Thank you. I'll be.
Did anyone see that movie Hillbilly Elegy? I just find it very weird that Ron Howard directed a movie about this guy. No one liked it, and now he's gonna be president. It's really wild. True, literally no one gave a shit about space. Again, they're probably not going to do it. Okay? They're not actually going to send it to Alabama. They don't give a shit. Do you imagine the amount of paperwork it's going to be required to, like... Also, look at the face of this guy right behind. That's the face we're all making right there. Do you know how much paperwork it's going to be to, like, send all of the gear over to Alabama? They're not doing it. This was just to show everybody that Donald Trump's not dead.
Very brief here. I lobbied the president hard to put it in.
What are they going to do?
So these people behind us, these Alabamas.
He did a joke there, by the way, and it definitely. He's working on his Type 5 for his fucking Fallon set.
But he said these people behind us, these Alabamas. Sure. Well, Mr. President, thank you. I'll be very brief.
Listen to this
here.
good joke. Listen to this great joke.
I lobbied the president hard to put it in Ohio, but he said these people behind us, these Alabamas, are just too powerful and too persuasive. And so it's in Alabama, but ought to appreciate the fact that you can't win the battle of the future unless you control the skies. The cyber.
That would have gone hard as the fucking tagline for a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie in like 1996. You cannot win the battle of the future unless you control the sky. Everyone in Alabama is amazing people. They average out to a full set of teeth. I'm, by the way, very into being ableist. I guess it is both ableist and elitist, classist, whatever you want to say, against people from the South. I'm just kind of like, honestly, okay. Got to be careful what I say because, you know, YouTube, secular humanist YouTube lawyers. But I think there is no level of what you can say to a Republican that's bad. Like, you're morally righteous saying whatever terrible thing you can say to a Republican. I'm not going to get into anything beyond saying things, beyond words. They are from freedom of speech, right? Which is just so that if you say retarded, no one can be mad at you. I lost a lot of viewers with that retarded rant, by the way. Everyone left after that. They didn't care for my firm pro saying retarded stance. But you know what? I'm a little stinker. What can you fucking say?
Security, the communications, the entire infrastructure of the battle in the 21st century will be in space. So it was a visionary move in the
Absolutely.
First administration for the president to
We go
set
through a
up
couple
Space
other
Force.
guys
I think an
here.
equally
Who
visionary move to
cares?
make
All
sure
right, now
Space
Donald
Force
Trump is
right
taking
where it should be.
questions. This is what he loves doing. This is his favorite thing.
So thank you all very much. You are going to leave me alone now? You're not going to call me anymore and talk about this subject, right? You promise? They'll start some.
Look at how that joke was so much better than J.D. Vance's joke. And it's, again, the thing about comedy, it's not in the writing. It is just in the telling. Not a little bit. I would say comedy, 20-25% is the writing. But the vast majority is performance. And that thing there wasn't funny, but it got legitimate laughs. You know why? The man's a fucking performer. If we just tax the rich, I don't give a fuck who says what, when, or where. I think that's, for one, my position, that would be win-win. Okay? I'm of the position, this is my political position right here. Greatly tax the rich, not even income tax, although we could raise income taxes. But first off, we need to invest in IRS agents to actually close all these fucking loopholes people use and chase down offshore money. That's the first thing. Secondly, income tax isn't really what I give a shit about. A lot of these people don't really make a lot of income. It's shit like capital gains, okay? At the end of the day, what I care about, if a company makes a shit ton of money, and then they take that money and they spend it on things. They reinvest in things. They pay people to work there. They pay people to build things. That should not be taxed very much, in my humble opinion. What should be taxed like a motherfucker is if they're just storing that money somewhere. They just store it in stocks or in their fucking bank account and they take loans against it. No, stop that shit. If you're circulating money, you're not getting paid a lot. You're not getting taxed a lot, okay? If you're just sitting on money, we personally fuck you.
Something else. But I just want to congratulate you. It's a very big deal. When you come out and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat.
Oh, yeah, they just shot down a Venezuelan boat. Are we at war with Venezuela now? Because, sure, why not? That'll be fun. Do another war. Who gives a shit?
And you'll be seeing that, and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago, and our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares about this guy? Speaking of tax purposes, we need to stop giving the kind of tax incentives that allow a business to run at such a loss for so long. They do a Microsoft, Bezos, Uber, Walmart. I mean, I don't know, again, exactly what the tax policy and all this stuff should be, but I'm fine if, let's say, like Uber, for example. I mean, the problem with Uber is that they don't offer good protections for their workers and stuff like that. But that's kind of different than tax incentives and stuff like that. Because I honestly think a lot of this gig worker shit is a bit of a mixed bag. Now, I don't like as it begins to expand, and I wish that we had more protections for workers. I mean, things like universal health care or just a general we decommodified certain things. I would be very, very pro that. But I do think that a lot of the gig work stuff gets kind of a bad reputation when actually it provides opportunities for a lot of people. Now, again, it doesn't pay them well enough. It doesn't offer them protections. There are certain things that should not even be the responsibility of Uber. They should be the responsibility of a fucking well-maintained government to actually provide a social safety net to people. But, you know, it sucks, these service jobs. They're dog shit fucking jobs. But, you know, to some degree, I do appreciate them. But I think, you know, whatever the tax incentives are, the whole business model, just do it and then ask questions later, and it becomes, even if we know we shouldn't do it, just do it always and we'll see what happens. I mean, a lot of that stuff I think is venture funding, venture financing. I mean, maybe it's gone a little too far with a lot of these things, but the fundamental principle, a bunch of people put money into Uber because they thought, even though Uber has never made a fucking profit, as far as I know. I could be wrong about that, but it's never been profitable. And the idea is people pumped money into it because someday it'll make a profit. And maybe someday it will. But a lot of these .com businesses are fucking money sucks, and because no one running them knows what the fuck they're doing. Okay? So the question, to what degree should the government be involved? I often feel like I'm one of the only actual libertarians in the world. No one's really I would not call myself a libertarian. Don't want to fucking whatever. But people who call themselves libertarians are, at the end of the day, too angry, scared, and horny, and they will demand the government fucking enforce shit from people. Okay? They will eventually say that someone being trans scares me and gives me a boner, so we need to put them in death camps. Libertarians will all do that. Because ultimately, when people talk about, you know, people talk about politics, they'll talk about what they want to see. But I think when you talk about politics, what you want to talk about is what should the government do, not just what your end goal is. You need to talk about how much power you want to give the state. And I personally don't like giving the state a lot of power. Now, that being said, I'm not a libertarian. I'm not like a fucking anarchist ultimately, because I do think the state needs power. But the question becomes, what should it have the power to do? What shouldn't it have the power to do? And ultimately, I am incredibly liberal in terms of the state helping people. In terms of providing a social safety net, I think that's fucking awesome. More of that. I do that. When it comes to punitive measures, I'm a little more conservative on that. You're saying this while you're on two platforms that control your speech. That is true. Well, here's the thing. They control my speech in as much as what they say, and this is always going to be the case, okay? Because people want to talk about freedom of speech and whatever the hell it is. Right now, I can say whatever the fuck I want. YouTube and Twitch can decide not to have me on their platforms, okay? That's always going to be the case. There's always going to be restrictions on what we are platforming. Even if we lived in a world where all the social media was made a public good, which we probably should do, that's probably in the best interest of everybody. Even if we lived in that world, there's still going to be restrictions, okay? You can't just go out into the town square and start screaming the N-word. Well, depends on where you are, I guess. But my point here is that there are things that I would like to see happen that I don't want the government to do. I don't want the power of the state to handle them. Okay? They respected me for it. Hell yeah, Dougie Jones is back. We got another commenter. Love you. Not that I don't love you, Lamp Boob. Keep commenting. I love seeing it, but it's good to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? For example, there are people in the world who I think, the world would probably be a better place if these people were killed. I mean, that's a dark thought, but I have thought that. That being said, I do not want the state to kill them. I don't want to put that much power into the hands of the state. Now, when it comes to taxation and things like that, there are certain, again, things like income tax, because when most people complain about taxes, people are fucking idiots, don't know anything about fucking taxes. Everyone's fucking broke and they just do the free H&R Block thing. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They just have some vague sense of like, I want to pay less in taxes. And it's like, you live in America. You probably pay very little in taxes relative to the rest of the world. But income taxes are not necessarily something that I'm terribly passionate about. Like, we need to raise income taxes, because if someone actually makes money, I'm fine, with them keeping large amounts of their money. Again, the issue is not simply taking from the economy. It's keeping the economy fucking going. Okay. So if a company employs a lot of people, and there should be labor protections, because we can get into employ them as a broad term. How do they employ them? What benefits? How do they treat them? Et cetera, et cetera. That's another conversation. But broadly speaking, if a company employs a lot of people, if they invest in infrastructure, if they expand, et cetera, I'm not saying there shouldn't be regulations. There should be regulations on these things. I probably would think there should be less regulations than many people further left than me, but I get it. Generally speaking, some regulations. But if they are circulating this money in the economy and keeping the economy going, I'm fine with a government that does not tax them a huge amount. More than they're currently being taxed, sure. But again, if they invest the money, fucking tax it on that. That's why you hear all the quote, from, under Eisenhower or whatever, the corporate tax rate was like 70, 80, 90%. But very few companies actually paid that much. You know why? Because they got out of it by reinvesting their money. Okay? The 80, 90, 100, whatever the 100, maybe after a certain point. But the amount that you're taxed shouldn't just be like based on, the amount of money that you're taking in. It's profit that you're sitting on. All right. So there you go. I solved all the tax issues. Here, let's talk about this and then we'll get the hell out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's chat about this. I'm going to close this. You know what I found? The Wired article from Taylor Lorenz. We don't live in a world like that, though, really. We don't live, well, but we could. If we actually had Democrats with any fucking balls, if we actually didn't have a complete corporate-owned fucking duopoly. Because, again, I complain about the whole, both parties are the same, because it is stupid if people are like, both parties are the same. But there are some ways both parties are the same, okay? There's some fucking crucial ways in which they're different, okay? All right? I don't think Kamala Harris would be sending in jackbooted thugs to fucking major American cities. I don't think she would be deporting people for expressing their fucking opinions, okay? There's a lot of ways in which the Republicans are way fucking worse. And if you don't focus on that primarily, if you focus more on why the Democrats are bad than on why the Republicans are worse, I don't think you have your eyes on the fucking ball, okay? But there are some ways in which they are the same. And one of which is that they are both beholden to big fucking money. Okay? We have a real problem. Citizens United was the worst thing to ever happen to this fucking country. And so consequently, we're never going to see in our lifetime. I mean, I don't think. Prove me wrong, universe. But I don't think we're ever going to see in my fucking lifetime a world where we actually tax the rich. As we should. And again, not on their income. Jeff Bezos makes an income like whatever, like $100 a year or some bullshit. It's all fucking tax dodges. So again, before we completely fucking rehaul the tax code, which I'm very for, before that, we hire a bunch more IRS agents to track down these people. You know who hired a bunch of IRS agents? Fucking Joe Biden. Okay? His administration brought a bunch more IRS agents to the table. Everyone out there who's a far lefty, who's like tax the rich, did you ever give him fucking credit for that? For one fucking second, did you say, good, I like what he did? Or did you go genocide, genocide, genocide? That's what I fucking thought. That being said, it is a genocide and we shouldn't keep sending them fucking money. But global politics is hard. So again, before I've given him credit for that, as you should. That was a cool thing that he did. He did union stuff too. Now again, the whole online world just completely got consumed with Gaza. That is the only thing people on the internet want to fucking talk about. Gaza, 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 Gaza. To be fair, some people say genocide, some people say not genocide. I don't know the fucking dictionary definition of genocide, but we're just playing semantics. Terrible fucking things are going on over there. It is a direct result of the Netanyahu government. And you can talk larger things about the existence of Israel as quote unquote a Jewish state. I don't like ethno-states on first principles, so I'm not a particularly big fan of the concept of Israel, to be entirely honest with you. If there's a country over there called Israel, and then there's another country called Palestine, and they're just chilling, knock your fucking self out. Have fun, I guess. I don't give a shit. But I don't like ethno-states. I don't like where states are being, enforcing that some people are second-class citizens. I don't like any of that. Now, that being said, it's another country. It's not my country. The deal as to which it is my country is that my country is funding the bombing of civilians, the death of civilians, okay? So I am sympathetic to that. But I think that so many people on the online left just get exposed to a lot of videos of Palestinian children dying. And I get it. It fucks with you emotionally and it becomes your entire political agenda and mission. And so if you want to sit and say like, well, geopolitics is complicated and, it's our base in the Middle East and we've supported them before. And if we, in fact, who are you even talking about? I'm talking about whoever I'm mad about in any given day. I'm talking about fucking Hassan Piker. I'm talking about fucking Vaush. All of these people, the fucking Majority Report, where it's just Gaza, 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 Gaza. It's all they fucking talk about. And my point here is that you want to sit down and be like, well, if we were to not give them any money for weapons and stuff, we would have no leverage of any kind. They'd probably go with Russia or China and they would get that. And so perhaps in a way by giving it to them and then we're able to get certain, concessions from them, et cetera, et cetera. That might be true on a geopolitical level. That might be true. I'm not even dismissing that. But you hear someone say that, and then you move the thumb on your phone, and the next thing you say is the next thing you see is a fucking 4-year-old with her brains on the goddamn fucking floor because a bullet that had Northrop Grumman written on the side went through their fucking soft palate. You're not going to be wanting to hear a lot of people talk about geopolitics at that point. You're just going to be passionate and emotional. I get it. I 100% get it. I really, really do. But I think it fries some people's brains because they're not as autistic as me. And you can't just look at everything as an equation, okay? If you have two sides and one side wants to do a genocide and the other one wants to do 95% of a genocide and they're better on literally every single other issue by fucking leaps and bounds, which side are you fucking on? The hope you have to vote for Democrats forever. This will be the one time. Finally, liberal democracy will win in the face of fascism. It'll finally happen. Guys, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this before we get out of here. I got some beef marinating. I'm going to make myself a succulent Chinese meal. I've recently gotten into cooking Chinese food. Darling. I agree, lamp boobs. I am darling. Everyone needs to vote for Democrats all the time. By Taylor Lorenz. Okay? We're going to talk about this article. It's free on the internet. I presumed it would be behind a paywall. I was incorrect about that. This story has recently been blowing up the kind of spaces I'm currently yelling about that absolutely don't matter. Again, Hassan Piker, the biggest name in this world. Do you think people most people who vote for Trump don't know who the fuck he is? There are some extremely online Nazis. And also the Republican Party broadly is extremely online. As a result of COVID, everyone was forced indoors, yada, yada, yada. Do these people matter? I don't fucking know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Whatever, it's a live stream. I got to talk about content. I got to talk about things, and people have been talking about this lately. So it's an article written by Taylor Lorenz. Taylor Lorenz, I'm about to be like, oh, she's a far left journalist. And I imagine she would agree with that. I want to be as charitable as possible to her. Because in the wake of this article being published, A lot of people have been incredibly mean to Taylor Lorenz. And here's the thing. I get it. She is very bullyable. She just has the kind of energy that you're like, oh, other girls were horrible to you in middle school. Jesus fucking Christ. She's incredibly annoying. She's one of those people who COVID really broke her brain because she loves rules. And COVID was the height of everyone following the rules. And now, you know, around 2022, really, I mean, some people never gave a shit, but by like middle of 2022, every reasonable person was like, I don't know, sucks if you're fucking disabled, eat shit, losers, bye-bye, mask off, coughing everywhere, don't give a shit, I'm back to licking doorknobs, fuck you, COVID's not real anymore. She is still extremely COVID conscious, wears a mask everywhere. She, I believe, recently said the DSA were Nazis trying to do a genocide of disabled people because they didn't mandate masking at their meetings. Here's all you need to know about Taylor Lorenz. One of her big issues is mandating masking at DSA meetings. Wear a mask everywhere. I don't give a shit. Okay? I talk shit about Taylor Lorenz. I don't care. You see people in masks as they walk around, and I have a brief moment of discomfort. Again, I'm very ableist. I'm just like, don't wear that fucking mask. I don't know this person. I don't know what they're going through. Maybe they want to wear a mask because they have a serious health condition. Maybe they live with someone with a serious health condition. Maybe they don't want me to see their fucking face. Okay. One time, this was in November of 2020, so like the height of COVID. I went with my girlfriend to her fucking in-laws like thing in Michigan, and they're all fucking Trump people. I was not a mask person. I hated masks. I didn't like fucking wearing a mask. If I didn't have to, I wouldn't. I was going to a gym in like June of 2020. I didn't give a shit. I was just going to movies, mask off, breathing everywhere. I wore a mask when I went in to meet all these MAGA people. Why? Because fuck them. Because I wanted them to briefly be uncomfortable. Okay? I've stated before, and I truly do mean it, my only actual political position is that I hate Republicans. We need to be as mean as possible to Republicans. That's it. All right. So Taylor Lorenz is kind of a loony. She wrote this story. A dark money group is secretly funding high-profile Democratic influencers. An initiative aimed at boosting Democrats online offers influencers up to $8,000 a month to push the party line. All they have to do is keep it a secret and agree to restrictions on their content. Now, the agreeing to restrictions on their content part has been disputed. A lot of people, she's talking about a program called Chorus. Chorus would send, now she's saying up to $8,000 a month. Very few people made $8,000 a month. For some people, it was as little as $100 to $200. They would give influencers, left-wing influencers, money to create content. Now, what Taylor Lorenz is claiming is that they were told they couldn't publish certain content. They were told they couldn't interview some people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Other people in the program deny that, and there have been a number of clips shown of people in the program bad-mouthing the Democrats on Israel, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it doesn't seem to necessarily be the case. But when I read this, I was like, oh, who gives? It just didn't produce an emotional reaction in me. And what I realized, listening to other people talk about it, is when I hear Democrats, and it's the Democratic Party, not Democrats, okay? Don't fucking say that. When I hear the Democratic Party, Democrats, I go, okay, sure, yeah, okay. I don't get angry. For these far left fucking losers online, they hate fucking Democrats so goddamn much, okay? I don't hate Democrats. I don't. I have plenty of criticisms of them, certainly, but I don't have that visceral hatred of them. In a private group chat in June, dozens of Democratic political influencers discussed whether to take advantage of an enticing opportunity. They are being offered $8,000 per month. Again, it's come out that very few people were getting offered $8,000 a month. It was much, 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 much less than that. Oh, hell yeah, dude. We have a new commenter, Tarot Destroyer. My boyfriend's testicles were bitten off by a camel recently. Should I marry him when he wakes up for his coma or marry his identical twin brother whose testicles are in pretty good shape? So what you need to do is drug the twin brother and then remove his testicles and put it on. So first off, who got the better dick? Do they have the exact same dick? Do identical twins have the same dick? That's the kind of question. If you type that into Chat GPT, the FBI just comes in, just breaks into your house. So you can't. So my answer to you is in fact, marry them both and get a TLC reality show. They are being offered $8,000 per month to take part in a secretive program aimed at bolstering Democratic messaging on the internet. But the contract sent to them from Chorus, the nonprofit arm of a liberal influencer marketing platform. Again, when a lot of crazy far left people read this, they hear liberal influencers. They hate liberal. Like, there's a lot of words here that are trigger words that I'm like, fine. Yeah, liberal. I'm probably a liberal. I like liberal democracy. I like people being the freedom to do things. It eventually always ends up in fascism every single time because some people have smaller penises than other, and they decide they need to nuke the world about that. But, you know, in my ideal world, we all would have equal penises. And I think that's what Marx was kind of right about in Das Kapital Volume 2, before he, of course, was killed by the Illuminati. Among other issues, it mandated extensive secrecy about disclosing their payments and had restrictions on what sort of political content the producers could produce. The creators could produce, rather. That is the one thing I overall don't give a shit about this. I don't care. The one problem is that allegedly, according to Taylor Lorenz, according to Wired, and they've had their legal team read over this contract, so I'd imagine they're telling the truth. But it seems to me that in the contract, it said that they could not say that they were being paid by Chorus. That is really the one part of this I don't like. I don't like that very much. Now, I also kind of understand it. I kind of get it, because look at the reaction amongst all these people to this. I kind of get it. But overall, I'd prefer, I'd prefer we didn't have money in politics at all. But at the end of the day, we live in a capitalist fucking world. So if you're going to produce content and share your political views for a job, you literally for your life rely on people continuing to support you. So it's either something like Chorus, a nonprofit, not officially affiliated with the Democratic Party, as I understand it. It's a super PAC, so it donates to Democrats, but it's not like Chuck Schumer was personally giving instructions on what these people need to do, as I understand it. That's an important distinction, okay? But you can either get money from Chorus, a couple $100s a month, up to $8,000 a month is a lot of money. That's way more than most people fucking make in this country. That's a lot of money. So even if this super PAC did not explicitly tell them, no, you can't talk about whatever, you can't talk about Gaza, because that's, again, the issue everyone cares about. And it's worth noting that some of these creators, David Pakman primarily, wouldn't fucking talk about Gaza, okay? So even if they didn't tell them that, there might be some sense of like, if I say something that pisses these people off, maybe I don't get $8,000 anymore. But that's a problem with the profit incentive. It's so much larger than this one individual issue, because you have the other alternative part of it is you have viewers who subscribe. And if maybe you disagree with whatever their party line is, you know, they're not going to subscribe anymore. That's why these big fucking lefty creators, you know, every single position they're going to take every single time. Okay. And that to me reads as even less authentic than someone who took $8,000 from a fucking nonprofit. Okay. Should we send a joint email with all of our email addresses, or are we going to send things separately and hope they change everything for everyone? Lorenzo, a non-binary creator in Columbus, Ohio, with over 884,000 TikTok followers, asked the group, I don't know how I feel about Taylor Lorenz. I feel like, having seen Taylor Lorenz and having seen interviews and stuff with her, I do think she fucking hates liberals. She fucking hates them. I don't share that hate. Well, sometimes I do. Sometimes they're fucking annoying. But she's like tagging these people, calling them out specifically. I feel like this was written with an agenda. I don't know. Some joked about collective bargaining. Any Newsies fans here? Eliza Orlins, a public defender and reality TV star known for her appearance on Survivor, posted in the group, "We're a union just by saying so. I haven't seen Newsies and I don't respect people who reference children's films." The influencers in the chat collectively had at least 13 million followers across social platforms. They represented some of the most well-known voices online, posting, this is what's interesting here. She doesn't say left-wing voices. This is not a mistake. She says posting in support of Democrats. I think Taylor Lorenz would say her position is that Democrats are right-wing. I don't agree with that. I really fucking don't, okay? Yeah, her wording is really cheesy, like a 12th grader writing an expose on the basketball team getting special treatment like new uniforms or a pizza party. I just don't, like, it's this big story she wrote like it was fucking Watergate, and I'm like, Okay, a nonprofit is paying, because guess what? Guess what? The right wing is doing a fucking lot of this, okay? We have all this Russian money like Tenet and something, and people have compared this to the whole fucking Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson Tenet thing, and there's a number of big differences, okay, between the two things. Huge differences between the two things. At the end of the day, here's the biggest difference to me, and I know some people would disagree with me on this, but here's the difference to me. I do not want the Russian government to have more sway over politics in America. I'm about to say something really controversial. It's going to fucking piss off people watching this. I don't want to fucking say it anyway. I do want the Democratic Party to have more say in how things run. Doesn't mean I like everybody. Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, especially a lot of the top leadership of the Democratic Party needs to move the fuck on. Okay? But you know what? They're not? Fascist. And people who say the Democratic Party is fascist don't know what fascist is. They think fascist just means bad thing I don't like because they're fucking stupid. Okay? Reading through this revised chorus contract, like you win some, you lose some. A reproductive justice influencer named Pari, who posts under the handle Women in America, responded later in the thread. I also think there's at least 4 other things that should change, but the vibe I got from their email was that there would be minimal, if any, changes. Ooh, Lamp has a comment. She says, yeah, but this is what the Democrats have been doing and they've been losing. It's just showing that rather than making a small shift in the direction people want to see, they're going to still rely on keeping the status quo and acting as though they're the only defense against fascism when they're just as responsible. They are not just as responsible. You know who's more responsible? The fascists. Okay? Now, you say Democrats are losing. Guess what? They won the presidential election in 2020. They won the midterm elections, really, 2022, they win special elections all the time. Now, they lost the presidential election. Why? Because there was a lot of really bad. I think Bernie would have won. But I also think that people are conspiratorial and stupid about the Bernie Hillary shit, okay? In 2016, Bernie Sanders had no fucking shot at the nomination. No one took him seriously until it was too late, okay? Now, did the Democratic Party do things I disagree with in 2016? Yes. Did they do things that I think were stupid? Yes, 100%. I don't think Hillary Clinton was a good candidate, okay? There are facts that are laid out. The Democratic Party had their position in Hillary Clinton, okay? They had their person that they liked. They pumped her up. They talked in internal memos about how they could, accentuate Bernie's Jewishness. Let's not forget that 2008, they were the people, allegedly, this hasn't been proven, but it seems likely, they were the people spreading, all the Obama's a Muslim rumors. They basically got that shit started, okay? The Democratic Party did a lot of things that I think were a stupid move and that I don't like. But I don't think they did anything illegal, and I don't think they did anything particularly out of the ordinary. They have their fucking person. And in 2008 or 2016, I know we all hate Hillary Clinton, okay? I get it. She fucking sucks. I'm not a big Hillary Clinton fan, okay? Way too friendly with Wall Street, way too friendly with big business, a war hawk in her role as Secretary of State. I didn't like Hillary Clinton, okay? She would have been miles fucking better than Donald Trump. But that being said, I blame Trump 2016 voters less because at that point you didn't know. But what I'm saying here is that name recognition matters so fucking much. And in 2016, Bernie didn't have name recognition. No one actually thought he could win. So you can argue about propaganda, which I wouldn't even disagree with. You could say that Hillary Clinton was treated more fairly by media outlets. You would be correct. You would be absolutely 100% correct. But when people say, it was quote unquote stolen or rigged, I don't buy that in 2016. In 2020, obviously what happened is Bernie was doing well in the beginning. He won fucking Iowa, and then Pete Buttigieg claimed he fucking won. And I don't want to be too mean to Pete, because I think Pete could be a good, decent president. He is a little rat fuck, though. And as someone who was in Iowa on primary day volunteering for fucking Bernie, that was rat bullshit from fucking Bernie, okay? That Iowa straw poll didn't publish for the first time in its entire publication. They very clearly didn't want Bernie Sanders to get the nomination, okay? They didn't, all right? And at the end of the day, everyone they threw up against him, Pete Buttigieg, Oh, Pete Buttigieg worked for Kinsey Consulting. And then people say that maybe he was involved in the CIA, but there's been no proof to that. People talk about the bread fixing because there's been no fucking proof to that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Listen, it doesn't matter. Pete Buttigieg is never going to be fucking president in a million goddamn years. Okay. First, I'm not sure they're ever going to have elections again. But even if they did, he has 0% of the black vote. You think you can get a fucking Democratic nomination with 0% of the black vote? Never in a fucking million years is it going to happen. All right. You could talk about if Pete Buttigieg would be a good president. We can also talk about if my fucking asshole would be a good president. Neither one of them is ever going to happen for. Okay. So good fucking luck. But the thing was, they threw all these people up. You know, they propped up fucking Buttigieg. Oh, Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren. Remember the CNN where, like, you know, the debate where she literally just goes like, oh, Bernie, you told me that a woman could never be president, which, by the way, they're not fucking gonna be. We've ran two of them and they both fucking lost. Okay. So I don't think Bernie Sanders told her a woman shouldn't be president. I don't know exactly what he told her, but if he said, hey, maybe it's a bad idea to run a fucking woman as a candidate in this horrible, I'm about to say the most racist and sexist, which is not true, but racism and sexism in America is complicated. But anyway, it was complete bullshit, fucking non-story. Elizabeth Warren's making shit up. It fucking sucks. Look up Ben Garrison Buttigieg. I will not be doing that. Thank you very much. Oh, I've seen Ben Garrison writes those cartoons where I think the only quote about Ben Garrison, this is from the disgraced Virgil Texas of Chapo Trap House, when he said, you know how sometimes people say that guy's got a lot going on? Ben Garrison, he's got the most going on. But anyway, I'm talking about the 2020 election, okay? So they threw Buttigieg, Klobuchar. There wasn't anybody. You know why? Because Bernie Sanders in 2016 didn't have name recognition until way too late. In 2020, he had fucking name recognition. Now, he made a lot of mistakes in his campaign. When he's bringing on people like fucking Breonna Joy Gray, you can see how he's not making a lot of good fucking decisions, okay? And I'm sorry, he didn't. That being said, he had the name recognition. He had the message. 2020 was his fucking year. Okay. And he was winning. And Joe Biden was eating fucking shit, placing like 4th and 5th, just not doing well. Until Super Tuesday comes about, Barack Obama calls everybody, talks to them, and they all go, listen, South Carolina, Biden's going to win because he has black support. He did have black support. Bernie Sanders didn't have a lot of black support. I'm sorry. Make of that what you will. Talk about what you will. Talk about old churchgoers in the South. It's fucking complicated. You're right, Bernie Sanders, but I'm talking of, yes, you are correct. You are correct about that. But the fucking iron law of institutions. Why? The question I have for you. Why should Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries step down? I can tell you why I think they should. I don't think they're leading the party well. I don't think they're representing the party. I don't think they're representing the constituents. I think they are almost single-handedly, those two people are the reason the Democratic Party has such a low approval rating. Local Democrats tend to have pretty good approval ratings. It's an exact inverse of the Republican Party. Republican voters love Donald Trump. They love the federal government. They do not like their individual politicians. They boo them. They hate them. They don't fucking like them. Democrats tend to like their local representatives. They hate the party at the federal level. So I think they should step down because I think that they are making it easier for Nazis to take control of America. But if you were Chuck Schumer, why would you step down? Why would you do it? He's making money. His life is better if he stays. Okay? People are going to do what's in their best fucking interest. Very few people. This is one of the reasons why Bernie Sanders was so fucking special. He truly gave a shit about helping people. Okay? So the point here is that, guess what? You're going to need to fucking take it from them. Okay? Because I do believe the Democrats believe in democratic processes. I think that if Bernie Sanders had gotten more primary votes in 2016 or 2020, he would have been the nominee. They wouldn't have liked it, but I think he would have been the nominee. You know why? Because in 2008, they didn't want Obama to be the fucking nominee. They wanted Hillary to be the nominee. But people showed up and voted for him, especially non-voters. So Bernie Sanders was very popular amongst people who don't vote, especially who don't vote in primaries, okay? You have to fucking take it from them. Yes, you make the point there. What's the thing? These people are so out of touch and they're comfortable, and it doesn't matter if Cory Booker gives a $2,000 an hour speech. He knows they all know. You're absolutely correct about that. You're absolutely correct about that. So again, you got two options in front of you. You can participate in electoral politics, and guess what? Leftists fucking don't. They don't vote in fucking primaries. And when you have so many content creators like fucking Hassan Piker going out there and being like, I don't know, voting doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Wait, why did my candidate lose? Because the other option is to firebomb a Walmart. And if you're not firebombing a Walmart, then do the first one. Okay? If you don't have the fucking balls to firebomb a Walmart, and secular humanist YouTube lawyers, I'm not recommending anybody firebomb a Walmart. But the point is, you want to talk about fucking revolution, you better have the fucking balls to do it. Okay? And you shouldn't be so goddamn assured that it's going to work out in your favor. All right? So these people like Taylor Lorenz who hate the Democratic fucking party, you know, guess what? Fucking vote. Fucking support people. Support left-wing candidates. Okay? And everyone's so excited about Zoran Mamdani in New York. And I get it. I'm not anti-Zoran Mamdani. I hear a lot of things he wants to do, and I don't think he's going to be able to do them, but I'd love to be proven wrong. Overall, I'm very pro people like Zoran Mamdani, all right? Young, progressive people with fucking energy behind them. And you know what he did? He ran a fucking primary and he won a Democratic primary because he got people to come out to vote. Now, all you people in the comments are going to be like, oh, but Hakeem Jeffries didn't endorse him. You know who else he didn't endorse? Eric Adams. Federal level Democrats tend not to endorse in city level elections. That being said, I would like to see Democrats embrace him because I think he's the fucking future. But guess what? He won a primary in a progressive city with like 400,000 votes. Okay? The question is whether or not that applies to a federal level. I don't know. I hope so. I'd love to see it. Again, not even based on specific policies, although listening to a lot of Zoran's policies, I like them. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's a competent guy. And I think he's going to be a good mayor of New York City if he's elected. I like the guy. Okay? I really do. But besides all that, he's fucking progressive, and we need to get the old fucks out of the Democratic Party. Primary them, okay? And they're going to fight back against you. Of course they're going to fight back. The Republican Party fought back against the Tea Party. Guess what? The Tea Party fucking won and took over. And those people are fucking retarded. If a bunch of fucking retards can do it, why can't you? I rest my case, Your Honor. As I was saying, for years, Democrats have struggled to work with influencers. In 2024, President Joe Biden's White House snubbed several prominent content creators after they lightly criticized the administration over its policies on climate change, COVID, Gaza, and the TikTok ban. Lightly is going to be a bit much there, but I do agree that the Democratic Party in general is not doing a good job with new media. Okay? It says content creators who challenged Kamala Harris, including Hassan Piker, a well-known influencer on the left, were similarly unwelcome at campaign events. I mean, but again, they're not going to like you. Okay? Hassan Piker's main political position is the Democrats should lose. The Democrats should be tossed the fuck out of there. I don't disagree, but if that's your position, they're not going to fucking sit you down in the front row. You got to be realistic here. Chuck Schumer does not want to leave. He will not help you with anything that will result in him leaving, okay? He says he voted. First off, I don't know what the fuck Hassan Piker does or doesn't do. He later claimed that he voted for Kamala Harris. At the time, he was definitely being a little more like, oh, I don't think you should vote for anyone. First off, who he individually votes for doesn't matter. He has a large platform with a lot of fucking young people, and I'm not saying that his criticisms of the Democrats are entirely wrong. He has a lot of criticisms, especially on domestic policy, that I do agree with. But I think he does not stress enough the difference between Democrats and Republicans. Okay? And again, this is a beef channel, so I'm beefing with him and I'm fighting with him now. Okay? My point is not even that I disagree with him or that he's wrong. My point is simply that in his ideal world, Chuck Schumer will not be a part of the Democratic Party. I agree with that. In my ideal world, he will not be there. Okay? What he is advocating for, even if we don't want to say a total dissolution and destruction of the Democratic Party, is bare minimum a reordering of the Democratic Party, a reformatting of it. I agree. I would like to see that reformatting. Probably not as extremely as he would, but I'd like to see it. The people in charge aren't going to fucking help you with that. They are against that. But guess what? They still play by the rules. People think they don't, but they fucking do. All right? The rules are not always fair to you. They have a lot more money. They can do all this other shit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they do still play by the fucking rules. Okay? So you need to beat them at this goddamn game. After the Democrats lost in November, they faced a reckoning. It was clear that the party had failed to successfully navigate the new media landscape, while Republicans spent decades building a powerful and robust independent media infrastructure, maximizing controversy to drive attention, and maintaining tight relationships with creators despite their small disagreements with Trump. The Democrats have largely relied on outdated strategies in traditional media to get their message out. Okay? It will never work this way. It will always be a catch up and things will just get dirtier and dirtier. I mean, that's what you say. That's the black pill way around it. But again, and I think you might disagree with this, and maybe many people would. And maybe you're fucking right. I don't know. But I think that if Bernie Sanders had gotten more votes in the primary, he would have won the primaries. I think he would have. I like Bernie Sanders a lot too. He wasn't as well known. Okay? I mean, Reagan was the first. The first fucking Trump was George Washington. You want to go back and talk about, you know, whatever Trump represents in terms of, you know, being a fascist fucking retard. He's nothing new. Okay. It's never been quite this ugly and base before, but he didn't invent anything. Okay. Here's what it ultimately comes down to. Let me read this next paragraph. Now Democrats hope that the secretive Chorus Creator Incubator Program, funded by a powerful liberal dark money group called the 1630 Fund, might tip the scales. The program kicked off last month. So first off, this program is like fucking 8 weeks old. Okay? This isn't, you know, whatever. The program kicked off last month, and creators were told by Chorus that over 90 influencers were set to take part. Creators told Wired that the contract stipulated they'd be kicked out and essentially cut off financially if they even so much as acknowledged they were part of the program. Some creators also raised concern about a slew of restrictive clauses in the contract. Now, I'm not sure what the contract actually says. Wired doesn't reprint it. But a lot of people have shown clips of content creators like Brian Tyler Cohen talking about Chorus, saying they were involved in Chorus. Okay? But here's what it comes down to, and it isn't fair, but it's the way of the world, and I get it. This is why it's fucking hard for liberals to win. Because guess what? Republican Party is fascist. They got taken over. So people, influencers on the right will say you should vote for Republicans. Influencers on the left hate Democrats. They fucking hate them. In a lot of cases, more than they hate the fucking Republicans, you know? I don't got a solution for this because at the end of the day, I can yell at people and be like, you should support Democrats more. And I do think people should support Democrats more. They're not fucking going to. Okay? You got to meet people when they are. I can say like, well, do a sober-headed look at the situation and the issues and look at people aren't going to be like that. They need narratives. They need fucking vibes. Okay? So I can say we need better voters. And again, I think we do. Voters are fucking stupid. We're not going to get better voters. Okay? So at the end of the day, Democratic Party, you got to give people something. All right? Being better than the Republicans isn't enough. It should be, in my opinion. That should be enough. It's not. It's clearly fucking not. Okay? If you want to win federal elections on a regular basis, instead of this, you know, we win a little bit here and then 4 years later we lose a little bit and blah, 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 blah. You got to fucking offer people something, man. Influencers included in communication about the program, blah, 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 blah. According to copies of the contract viewed by Wired that creators signed, the influencers are not allowed to disclose their relationship with Chorus or the 1630 Fund, or functionally that they're being paid at all. So again, I don't know anything about this contract, but I do know, because I've seen the clips myself, plenty of people who are in this program talked about being in the program. So that's not true. Maybe the contract wasn't enforced. I really don't know. But they did talk about it, okay? What it says right here, the only way to counter that is to elect a Democrat who's actually a populist who installs policies that will start to relieve the burden on the poor and correct inequality. Until then, it's all just a fascism seesaw. I mean, I think I agree with that largely, you know? No, I like to keep reading what you're writing, because I think you make good points. You really do. Which is, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of on an arc where I'm just like, hey, populism is stupid. People are fucking stupid. But here's the deal. You're going to need populism. That's what people are going to fucking vote for. So if you believe in liberal democracy, like I do, we have to give people what they want. And here's the deal. They want to be told easy solutions for things. Okay? And the fascists will fucking do it. You know why? Because people in America really are the real American thing is just two things. A, okay, I'm mad that I don't have enough money, and B, I want to kill every brown person I see. Those are the two things, okay? No party is going to give him number one. One party is going to give him number two. All right? And it is number two. So let's give him number one. So at least it's a fucking alternative, you know? People only want two things. One party is offering 0. One party is offering 1. They're like, listen, we want two things. One party is offering 0. They're like, listen, we're going to fuck you. We're going to keep taking your money and giving massive tax cuts, but we will make things less comfortable for everyone who makes you angry, sad, horny. Okay? That is what it is. Okay? No, people are fucking stupid. People are too stupid for populism, but it's also what we need. Dozens of liberal influencers are believed to have been approached by Chorus about the 1630 fund financing opportunities this spring. They were told that Chorus appreciated the work they were doing online or asked if they'd be interested in being part of the first blah, blah, blah. Let me just take this, by the way. Chorus, I'm very open. Okay? Reach out to me. Leave a comment. I kind of like Democrats on certain levels. A lot of them I don't. But I'll defend Democrats and this is really going to help. I say retarded. Retard. I say it. I can get you that fucking Andrew Schultz bro vote, okay? Finance me. Give me the new Flagrant Ones podcast. And I'm like, yo, Pete Buttigieg, what's up, dude? So let me tell you, you ever fuck a guy that was in fact retarded? You ever suck a retard dick? Ooh, Pete Buttigieg. Maybe Pete Buttigieg just kind of laughs, goes, ha ha ha. So anyway, here's my idea for means testing. Loans of up to $15,000 for people who open a small business in a disadvantaged community. Have I got the Obama down yet? I'm Obama, but instead of black, I'm gay. What's that? No one likes that? Okay, then. Here's what someone said. If I want to work with another politician, I have to fully collaborate with them, said one creator who was offered the contract but ultimately declined to take it and asked not to be named. That was me. I'm the one who did it. If I get Zoran and he wants to do an interview with me, I don't want to give that to them. These are all fucking brokies. I think Twitch went down for me. Is Twitch down for anybody else? Guess what? I had Twitch up here. There you go. Is Twitch? No, Twitch is still up. We still got it going on. So accept it, live with it, deal with it. Anyway, this dark money group. So basically what they're saying is that if they wanted to, all bookings had to go through like the Chorus main office. I think the whole Zoran thing is overstated by these people. There are some high-level Democrats who don't endorse, and then again, they never endorse in mayor races. They don't do it. They don't endorse state level, federal level, tend not to endorse in fucking New York mayor races. Oh, snap. We live. Is it a little behind on Twitch? Is it like a better on YouTube? I don't know. It's not important. I'm jumping around. Who cares? So the contract reviewed by Wired prohibit standard partnership disclosures, declaring that creators will, quote, not publicize their relationship with a Chorus or tell their members of the program, quote, without Chorus's prior express consent. A screenshot from a slideshow was shared with Wired following this article's publication by Graham Wilson, a lawyer working with Chorus, that offers several talking points if a member of the cohort wants to discuss Chorus publicly. Twitch fucking died? Motherfucker. I'm getting Twitch still. I'm getting Twitch still. See? It's all on Twitch as far as I can tell. Oh, I'm doing Yoception over here. See? It's all on Twitch as far as I can tell. Enough of this. I'm into reading this fucking article. So this is a big thing that people have been talking about, is the idea of retractions, corrections versus editorial notes. So some people will say like there have been retractions of this article. There have not been retractions of this article. They have included things that a lawyer involved with Chorus or different, a lawyer working with Chorus sent them some things and said, hey, let me clear this up for you. Here's several talking points if people want to discuss Chorus publicly. Guess what? That's called fucking media training. People hate it because they just want fucking authenticity. So it is what it is. I get it. But the article hasn't been retracted is my point. People saying it's been retracted are wrong. There are some real great advantages to housing this program in a nonprofit, Wilson said to creators on a Zoom call reviewed by Wired. True. I think it is a nonprofit in that they're not trying to make a profit. You know, what are they trying to do? I don't know exactly. Maybe it's a fucking money laundering scheme. It seems to me that don't look at it now, look at it after. People, including the person that I posted in general chat of the Discord, don't look at it now. Okay, I won't. I say I gotta stop reading every comment. It's really fucking me up. But the point is, I believe, it seems to me, the main point of Chorus was to try to build up Democratic influencers to combat the right wing, which has been doing this successfully. It's not going to work. You know why? Right-wing influencers love the Republican Party. Left-wing influencers hate the Democratic Party. Are they right to? I could debate you all day. Some things I agree with them, some things I don't. It's pointless. At the end of the fucking day, they're going to. Et cetera, et cetera. Elizabeth Dubois. Sometimes it is actually clear that influences are being used to, for example, evade spending limits. I think we need to remember that for democracy to thrive, we do need transparency around who is paying for political messages. So I have some disagreement with the notion of quote unquote paying for political messages, because obviously what Taylor Lorenz is trying to convey with this article is that these influencers were paid to quote unquote spread Democratic Party propaganda. Now, there's a number of people who were part of the Chorus program. And again, I don't know what's in the contract. I can't speak to that. But I know that I have seen clips of people that supposedly were in the Chorus program shitting on Democrats, especially over Gaza. Okay? So the implication that they were not allowed to criticize Democrats and they were not allowed to mention Gaza, I fucking forget who it was. I don't care. Why are you listening to me? Why are you trusting anything I fucking say? Okay? David Pakman is probably the biggest name included in this article. He wouldn't mention Gaza. Now, here's the deal, right? You need sources, sir? I'm tired. I want to go make a succulent Chinese meal. I want to wrap this up. I have no fucking sources for you. And in fact, I'm probably wrong. Anyway, I'm now just literally reading my phone. Let me just wrap this whole thing up. David Pakman is probably the biggest name on here. David Pakman. I've liked a lot of the stuff he's had to say. He talks mostly on domestic policy. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's a straight shooter. He doesn't want to talk about Gaza. Here's the thing. He is, I believe, the son of Jewish immigrants from Argentina. People, we see the images coming out of Palestine. It fucks you up. I get it. They're terrible. What the state of Israel is doing to these people is fucking terrible. I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this without just being horribly racist, but if someone is Jewish and was raised Jewish, I don't have to agree with their position on Israel. And oftentimes I don't. But I am going to offer them more grace on it. Okay? Because they're coming at it from a perspective I don't have. I can only speak to Jewish friends I have that I'm not Jewish, as you can tell, because you saw me singing at the beginning of this. No, the best Jewish singer in the world, Bob Dylan. That tells you all you need to know. Just kidding. I'm inventing new forms of racism. The Jews, they all like money? No, they can't sing. No. He also talks with his mouth really wide. You're not wrong about that. He enunciates his words really well. Did you ever see when he was on Patrick Bet-David podcast and Patrick Bet-David was trying to explain why capitalism is good because Circuit City went out of business or something? But what he specifically said, David Pakman said that he was working at Circuit City in like the early 2000s. We'll talk about this. Let me finish up this Patrick Bet-David anecdote where David Pakman said he was making like $100,000 a year working part-time at Circuit City selling VCRs. Okay. And then Patrick Bet-David, and then the Circuit City changed their comp plan and it didn't. I'll talk about all that thing because it's complicated. But Patrick Bet-David was like, well, you stopped working there because they did not give you comp and that is why we should not tax people. I'm being real racist on this one. Conflating Jewish people with the state of Israel as a central connection is not something I want to do because the state of Israel does not represent Jewish people. What I am saying, and I'm only basing this on what Jewish people have told me. If anyone is Jewish and feels differently, okay, by all means correct me. It is something that is told to a lot of Jewish people, especially when they are young, is that the state of Israel is very, very important because the Jews have been fucking holocausted, okay? It happened and was bad. And they've been treated like shit and kicked out of fucking countries. So the idea of we have our own country is something that's very, very important to them. I'm not saying that the actions of Israel necessarily even reflect the citizens of Israel, let alone Jewish people around the world. I'm just saying something that a lot of Jewish people have been told before, okay? And it's also worth noting, let's say a group like Hamas, I'm sympathetic to a lot of things going on there. They're an oppressed people in Palestine. They've been oppressed fucking hard. If I was living there, if I grew up in Palestine, maybe I'd be part of Hamas too. You know, seeing what you have to see, seeing your people be put into a fucking open air prison, seeing children dying, starved, all that fucking shit. I might be in Hamas too. I might. I have sympathy for that. But they do want to kill all the Jews. I mean, that's true. I'm saying if you're a Jewish person, I'd imagine I'd have maybe a less charitable fucking opinion on Hamas, you know? You got to look at everyone's perspective. So ultimately, it's not like David Pakman has come out, at least in nothing I've seen, where he expresses Zionist feelings. He just doesn't want to talk about it. And I'm just saying I have sympathy for that. Not saying I agree with him. What I'm simply saying is that I think this issue of Israel-Palestine, which is completely subsumed in the online left, is incredibly black and white to a lot of people. And to some degree, I get it. I unequivocally say the actions of the Netanyahu government are fucking terrible. I unequivocally say that Israel is an ethno-state, and I unequivocally say that I don't fucking like ethno-states. I don't. Okay? I don't know. People throw a solution, 2-state solution, 1 state. I don't fucking know. Okay? I graduated college with a 2.6 GPA. Like, I'm going to fucking solve the Middle East crisis. I don't know shit about shit. I don't know what a solution to this looks like at the end of the day. I can tell you things I'd like to see more than others. You know, more fucking democracy, treating the people of fucking Palestine better. That's what I'd like to see. But what I'm saying is that this is a genuinely controversial issue. Okay? In America, Democrats are about like 80% anti-aid to Israel and 20% aid to Israel. It gets far more complicated whenever you actually break down like what does aid look like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it's a complicated moral issue. And that's why I think Taylor Lorenz fucking sucks. We're Americans. All we can do is tell our government we don't want to send money to Israel. Sure. And I agree. I don't want to send money to Israel either. Guess what? They're going to fucking keep doing it. Okay? I think a lot of people online legitimately had never heard of this before October 7th. They had no fucking idea. And it's like, there's a lot going on here. Okay, buddy? So I just want to end it because it's 7-11. Never forget. And I just want to say, Taylor Lorenz is really annoying. Is that you? Is who me? What's happening right now? What's going on? I'm very confused. I'm going to go make myself some Chinese food. So if I can deal with that. And I think Taylor Lorenz is annoying. I think that we should give more money to center-left Democrats because not knowing, no, I definitely could point to Israel-Palestine on a map and definitely could do it now. Give me a map. I think center-left Democrats are going to save us all and liberal democracy is going to defeat fascism for the first time ever. So go out, vote. I am so fucking smart, dude. You have no idea. I solved the Rubik's Cube one time. The trick, smash it. Get a big fucking hammer and smash it. All right, guys. This has been fun. Check out the Patreon. Check out the social media. Check out the Discord. I'm going to keep doing these. Move the stickers. I literally don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now. I'm so fucking mad. I don't know what's happening. What stickers? What the fuck are you talking about? Thank you for the stream, Dougie Jones. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm never going to find out what the stickers are, and that's fine. Love you all. Ooh, I'd love to hear about that guy talking